Hey, what's going on, you guys? Jordan over here at the Movie Den. I hope you all are doing well. Guys, today's video is kind of it's really a part 3 video. The first video I did about this topic is, what are some essential horror films that I think every horror collector should own, and especially if you're just starting your collection, which ones you should go out and grab. You guys really like that, and then so I went ahead and did a part 2 of that with, actually I think I did 12 more titles that I thought every horror collector or first-time horror collector should own, and that did really well. So you guys seem to really like these videos, so we're going to keep it going, and this is going to be part 3. Now, the last 2 I did 12 picks. I'm just going to keep it now at just 10 picks. These are 10 titles that I think are must-have in anybody's collection. Some of these picks today are going to stretch you a little more, I think. They don't go too crazy. These films, I think, will stretch a first-time horror collector enough. If they haven't seen these films, give it a try. And, of course, that could lead into, other films as well. But anyways, as always, links will be down below for every single one of these and some iteration that are available for you guys to pick up if you would like. And to start off today's video, we're actually going to be kicking it off with a found footage film. This one's actually from 1998, and that is going to be The Last Broadcast. Now, if you guys remember from my last video, one of the picks was the Blair Witch Project, and that one actually came out in 1999. This one came out a year earlier, and I think, I would say, there's probably more to it, but you could say the extreme popularity of the Blair Witch Project, rightfully so that it had, kind of buried this film. And I think a lot of people surprisingly haven't seen this movie. This is a great one, guys. This is, like I said, another found footage film. This is about this film crew going out to find the Jersey Devil. And the story goes is that a film crew, it was like early internet. This film involves a very early internet show, and they go missing searching for the Jersey Devil. And we are watching a film that is kind of documenting, trying to figure out what happened to those people. This is a great release from 101 Films. There's a US version and a UK version. This is the US version. Like I said, there's really no difference. You're getting a nice booklet in here. And kind of this cardboard. It's flimsy cardboard box that it goes in, but still a really fun film. I would highly recommend you guys checking this out. If you really like the Blair Witch Project, give this a shot. We've got The Last Broadcast. Guys, for number 9, we are taking it way back to the year 1959 with, this is a classic film, and this really, we're talking about The House on Haunted Hill. This film is about this millionaire who offers, I think it's how much, like $10,000 to these different participants to stay one night in this haunted house, haunted mansion. And the millionaire is played by none other than the legend himself, Vincent Price. I love this movie. This has got, it's just that gothic haunted house, early film feel to it. I love this movie. I think this is a must-have in any collection just because of the weight of this film and how many films since this film has come out has taken inspiration from The House on Haunted Hill. This is a new release from Film Masters. It just came out not too long ago on Blu-ray. This is a great release, guys. There's an awesome audio commentary in here from Heath Holland. If you guys don't know him, Serial at Midnight, he's another big YouTuber, physical media, movie YouTuber out there. But yeah, he has a full-length commentary in here, which is really awesome. But guys, definitely pick this up. If you guys haven't, check it out. We have got The House on Haunted Hill. All right, guys, moving on to number 8. This one's from 1981, and we are talking about My Bloody Valentine. We just celebrated Valentine's Day. For me, I watch this religiously every Valentine's Day, and sometimes I even watch it, outside of the holiday season of Valentine's Day. This movie is about this town called Valentine's Bluff that has a dark past. What had happened is there was some miners trapped in the Hanniger mine on Valentine's Day, and while a lot of the miners and the whole town was out celebrating for Valentine's Day, these miners were trapped in there and they had died. And one of them was Harry Warden. And Harry Warden came back and killed the 2 miners that were supposed to be watching them, but they went off to celebrate at a Valentine's Day party. And he said, if you guys ever celebrate Valentine's Day again, I will come back. And once you know it, they decided to start celebrating Valentine's Day again. and Harry Warden may or may not show up again. Great movie, guys. Get the Scream Factory release Blu-ray or 4K because it has the uncut footage in it, which I think makes this film all the better. There's tons of extra gore scenes. There's still some that it's like pretty much lost for good. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever see it. But what they added in here is just, it's great. Plus the 4K looks awesome. And what's interesting about this is most slashers, especially in the 80s, it really focused on the teens, going after the teenagers. This one, they are young working adults, and it takes place in Canada. So Valentine's Bluff in this movie is in Canada, and this is Canadian through and through. The way they talk, the way they dress, it's pretty funny. But I love this movie to death. Number 8, we've got 1981's by Bloody Valentine. All right, guys, this is my number 7 pick of horror films that I think every horror collector, or especially if you're starting out a collection, should own. And this is a film from 1979. This one's an Italian film, and that is Lucio Fulci's Zombi. Now, my opinion, I think this is my favorite zombie film of all time. It's bonkers. A lot of it is nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense, but you got to realize that's kind of how, especially Fulci was. He was just all about shock factor. And I mean, yeah, there kind of is a through line story, but I mean, you've got a zombie fighting a shark in this movie. It's pretty nuts. But the special effects, the way the zombies look, they're just very earthy. The way they come out of the ground, they've got just bugs and dirt all over. It looks so gross, but I love it. And it's got one of the grossest like eyeball splinter scenes. And it doesn't pan away. It zooms in even more, really focuses on it. It's nasty. But I think this is a great Italian film. I say Italian, and yes, it is, but it is watchable. The audio and the lips and the audio, it doesn't sync up 100%. It was just an Italian thing back in the day. They redubbed everything, regardless of it being in Italian or English, regardless of the actors speaking in Italian or English. Everything was redubbed. So if you can get past that, check this movie out. It's a fun one. 1979's Zombi. Next, we're actually moving up 1 year, and my number 6 pick is a film from 1980. It stars George C. Scott, and we have got The Changeling. This movie, right off the bat, the score, I think, is one of the standout parts of this movie. And this movie is so atmospheric. George C. Scott plays this music professor, and unfortunately his wife and kid are tragically killed in a car accident. They weren't in the car, they were out playing in some snow, and a semi lost control and unfortunately took them out. So he decides to move to kind of restart his life, to get past everything, and he ends up renting this mansion dirt cheap. And while he's living there, there's some spooky stuff that starts happening, and you kind of get to uncover everything that goes on. But with him being a music professor, the score in here is going to be great. It is a slow burn, I will say that, but I love slow burns, and to me, the movie just builds and builds upon layers on itself. Such a fantastic film. I highly suggest everyone watch this movie. Now, this second sight limited edition one is out of print. Can't really get it. You can get the standard 4K. But Severin does have their slip-covered 4K readily available. It has I'm not 100% sure on if it has everything that this release has. I think it does, though. But you can correct me if I'm wrong down below. Love this film. My number 6 pick for a film that I think every horror collector or a first-time horror collector should have in their collection is The Changeling. All right, guys, for number 5, I gave you Italian films. I'm going to give you a French film here. This film is not like the Zombie, Lucio Fulci Zombie Italian, where it's like dubbed in English, but they speak English. No, this is straight of French films. You're going to have to watch it with subtitles, or I guess if you speak and understand French. This film's from 2008. It's a more modern film, and this is part of the French extreme horror films, the French extremities. This movie is wild, and this one's going to be a challenge, I think, for some people, but for some, this is like, that's nothing. But we have got Martyrs. You want to talk about a gnarly movie that will turn your stomach. There's a reason why they're called French extreme films, because they pretty much for the most part, go all the way. There's going to be some comments down there. Well, it's not as crazy as Serbian film or Salo or something. You know, no, those are a whole nother level. But still, this movie is nuts. There's some skinning that gets involved in this movie, and that the twist when you find out the actual story of what happens, it sits with you. It's wild. But I'm so happy that Eureka was able to put out a 4K of this. Very, very excited about that. This is the only 4K that's out there. It looks great. This release is awesome. Comes with a great booklet. I love this movie. This is my number 5 pick. We've got Martyrs. Okay, guys, moving on to number 4. This film is from 2015, and it is the directorial debut of this director. I think he's probably my favorite modern horror director, and that is Robert Eggers' The Witch. Now, like I said, this is his directorial debut. He's done short films in the past, but this is his first feature-length film. And man, this is another atmosphere-heavy movie. This takes place in early America. This family gets banished from their community. They were a group of pilgrims, and they move to this empty plot of land right along a forest line. And when they're there, they decide they are going to start their own life. The reason they had left is there was some spiritual, religious differences within their community, with their church. So that's why they left. And so while they are building their life there, one day their youngest son, Samuel, disappears and comes to find out there's a witch coven living in the forest very close to where they have decided to live their lives. And one after another, the family gets picked apart. They get torn apart. And this is a very bleak movie. The ending doesn't make you feel too great. But score-wise, atmosphere, the way it's shot, the storytelling is so rich and so beautiful. It's very... Robert Eggers does such a good job at locking you within whatever time period within that story he's telling, whether it be this, especially The Lighthouse, the Northmen, and now you've got, Nosferatu coming up, Werewolf. Can't wait for that one. But I think everyone should at least watch this film. And I would argue have it in their collection from 2015. My number 4 pick is going to be Robert Eggers' The Witch. Moving on, guys, from 1982. This is a Tobe Hooper film. Some would argue maybe a Spielberg film. Who really knows if Spielberg, took control and made his own movie. There are definitely some Spielberg moments in this film. But that is going to be Poltergeist. Man, oh man. Of course, I'm sure all of you guys have seen this, but I still think this is a must-have in your collection. You know, the kind of trope, they built the house on sacred land. This is pretty much what happens in this movie. And it just goes nuts. What I think is so insane about this is the beginning of the movie. The mom just kind of lets the poltergeist, she thinks it's kind of funny. And to me, I'm like, hey, if I saw something moving like that, I'd be out of that house so quickly. But I think the scariest part for me in this is that clown. I think that's most people's scariest part of this movie. It's a great one. There's not much to be said that hasn't already been said about this film. So that's going to be my number 3 pick, is going to be Poltergeist. All right, guys, at number 2, we have a film from 1981. And, a film not from really a horror director. He's done films like The Blues Brothers and, Coming to America. You guys probably already know the director I'm talking about. In case you probably know the movie I'm talking about. From John Landis, we have got An American Werewolf in London. This one is kind of, it's a horror film with comedy elements, I think. Of course there's comedy elements, but I see it more as a horror film, and then the comedy gets sprinkled in John Landis' fashion. But I think the standout for this film is the special effects work in this. The werewolf transformation in here, what was very, very impressive at the time for this, and even impressive today, is the long still shots of the transformation. You see everything, usually what they would do is they would do like camera work and lighting effects to add to that, the transformation of the special effects, not really zoom in close, long shots of one, like the muzzle growing, the hands becoming the paws type of thing. But in this one, what he decided to do is he's going to place in the living room, a very well lit living room where you can see everything. And long, wide shots for the most part. And that was very challenging. There's an interview with John Landis where he talks about that. This took a grueling amount of time. I can't remember exactly what he said, how long it took that shot. Just because of how many times they had to add prosthetics and add little things here and there. You know, it was like a day's worth of prep and shooting for like a one little shot. True artistry, really, in this. But there's a lot of comedy aspects, especially with the music. The music there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek songs in here, you know, Bad Moon Rising. They even say things in here like Every Dog Has Its Day, and, you know, kind of winks at the audience that they know what this movie is. And another thing, it's just so funny, is his friend. The guy's best friend in this, who is killed by the werewolf at the beginning of the film. His character is just great. I love that character so much. And every time he shows up, he is just rotting away more and more and more. It's pretty wild. I love this movie. This is a staple around Halloween time, of course. Maybe even like summertime. You know, you can watch this really whenever. This film isn't one of those movies where I think you have to watch it around a certain time of the year. But it's great. Love this release from Arrow Video, guys. So this is my number 2 pick for a film that I think every horror collector should own, or if you're just starting your collection, you should have this film right here. From John Landis, we have An American Werewolf in London. Guys, and the last one here, you know, I was looking at my previous 2 videos. I was shocked I didn't put this movie in here. Some of you guys have commented about it in the comment section. I was like, yeah, it's time that this made it into one of these lists. And now this film is from the year 1960. This is an iconic film. It has been remade. There's been TV shows about it. It's done by arguably probably the greatest horror director of all time. And that is going to be Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Now this film, in my opinion, is such a masterpiece. It was filmed it came out in 1960 in black and white, no less. What's interesting about that is, you know, films were being released in color. The reason it was black and white is because the studio kept taking money from Hitchcock, you know, trying to basically discourage him from making the movie. And he decided, well, fine, you know, you're giving me less money. I'll just make the film black and white, save a bunch of money that way. And I think aesthetically it worked. You know, Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, incredible performance from Anthony Perkins. Of course, father to Oz Perkins. He's done, you know, movies like The Monkey. He did Keeper. He just did Longlegs, following in his father's footsteps in terms of horror. And Janet Leigh is in this film. That is Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. She is the main girl in the shower, the whole shower scene. That is Janet Leigh. And what's really cool with this is they took Janet Leigh, who was a very famous actress at the time, and they made you think she was going to be the final girl, the main one in this movie. Now, they killed her off, and they did a similar thing with the movie Scream with Drew Barrymore. You know, it really hooked them in with Drew Barrymore and then just killed her off right at the beginning. I mean, guys, I can go on and on about this movie. I mean, this film has been studied inside and out. You know, there's a reason it's a classic and it has really stood the test of time. So that is my number 1 pick of a film that I think every horror collector should have in their collection, or you know, you're just starting out your collection, you really should have this in your collection. And that is going to be Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And guys, there it is. There are my 10 recommendations of 10 films that I think every horror collector should own. This is, well, the part 3. I'll list parts 1 and 2 down below if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. And again, make sure to check down below. If you don't have any of these, I'll put links down below where you can pick up physical copies of these to own in your collection. But guys, let me know down below, what are some of your favorite horror films that you think every horror collector should own? I'd love to know your guys' thoughts down below. And that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. And of course, you all take care.